Today we are going to do derivation of saving curve from consumption curve. We can derive saving curve from the consumption curve and vice versa. But first we are going to do derivation of saving from consumption. Okay. We are going to make two diagrams. One for consumption and the other for savings. On x-axis in the first diagram, we have national income, and on y-axis we have consumption. In the second diagram, on x-axis we have national income, and on y-axis we have savings. Okay. In the first diagram we have a 45-degree line. We'll make a straight line. Mine is not. We'll make a straight line. You'll make a 45-degree line. What is the significance of this 45-degree line? What is the 45-degree line otherwise called? It's called the line of reference. Okay. Now it's an arbitrary line, and this 45-degree line represents all equilibriums, all possible equilibriums, in this case between national income and consumption. So normally a 45-degree line represents all possible equilibriums in between whatever is there on x-axis and whatever is there on consumption, on the y-axis, which means in this case all possible equilibriums between national income and consumption at all levels of income. Okay, so it's an arbitrary line. Okay, now we're going to make a curve, consumption curve, and our consumption curve starts from OA. So even at zero level of income, you're going to find some consumption of OA. And what is this OA consumption representing? This OA consumption is the minimum consumption required at all levels of income. And at zero level of income, since you do not have an induced consumption, you will only have minimum consumption or autonomous consumption. And as income increases, the consumption also increases. Okay, giving it a positive slope. Okay, wherever this consumption curve intersects the line of reference, it's called the break-even point. And what is the significance of this break-even point? Consumption is equal to income. Consumption is equal to income. We're going to make a perpendicular which will be extended to the second diagram. Okay, now when consumption is equal to income, it means that there is no saving. Saving is equal to 0. Okay, now at points before B, consumption is greater than income. Consumption is greater than income, which means you have a dis-saving or a negative saving. Okay, right? And at points after B, to the right of B, you'll find that the consumption is less than income, which means there is positive saving. You are able to save. Okay, so keeping that in mind, we are going to make a saving curve. When at zero level of income, you have a minimum consumption of OA. You don't have an income, but still you have consumption, which means you need to have a dis-saving or a borrowing of OA minus. So your saving curve starts from OA minus. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to join this, because at this point, that is when B is happening, your saving is 0, which means the saving curve should touch the x-axis, So it's going to touch the x-axis. You're going to make it join this point at x and then extend it. Okay, this is your saving curve. Okay, all this is negative saving, all this is positive saving. Okay, this is point B, break even point, where consumption is equal to income, your saving is equal to 0. What is the slope of S? 1 minus B, which is equal to 1 minus MPC, which is equal to MPS. What is the slope of C? MP, C or B. Okay, right? So we're going to do again. Given consumption curve AC, we derived the saving curve. We take OA is equal to minus OA, where OA is equal to autonomous consumption defined at 0 level of income. It implies that at 0 level of income, saving will be minus OA. Point B on consumption curve indicates the break-even point where consumption is equal to income, implying that APC is equal to 1. C is equal to Y, so APC is equal to 1. And APS is equal to 0 because saving is 0, so APS will be 0 upon Y. Hence, saving is equal to 0 at this point, and saving curve intersects x-axis at point B. We join point minus A and B, extending a straight line upwards and get the saving curve minus AS. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, now we are going to derive the other way round. Okay, derivation of consumption curve from savings curve. We're going to make is this clear? The first diagram on x-axis we have national income and on y-axis we have savings. Okay, and after that we're going to make a diagram for consumption. On x-axis you have national income, and on y-axis you have consumption. Okay, so we're going to make a saving curve. The saving curve starts from minus. At 0 level of income you have a dissaving of OA minus. Okay, now this OA minus at 0 level of income indicates the minimum consumption required at 0 level of income, for which you need to have a dissaving of minus OA. Okay, your saving curve is a positive sloping curve. As income increases, your saving also increases. B point, the break even point, is when saving is equal to 0. When saving is equal to 0, the consumption will be equal to income. So we're going to make a perpendicular to the second diagram. Okay, we're going to make a 45-degree line. So at the point where this perpendicular is cutting this line of reference, you should also have your consumption curve intersecting the 45-degree line. So we're going to make the consumption curve. Since at zero level of income you have a dissaving of OA minus, at zero level of income you should have a consumption of OA. Okay, and then you're going to join this and this, and you're going to extend it further. This is consumption curve AC. Okay, so when saving is negative, your consumption is greater than income. When saving is positive, your consumption is less than income. And at point B, where saving is equal to 0, consumption is equal to income. This is also B. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, at this time you're going to revise whatever you heard seeing the diagram. So the entire process of derivation you're going to do. Scheme it out.